here we have our 6 face shapes, and behind one of these face shapes, you will find resonance with your own. Welcome to Tingledom. I am so delighted that you are here today. Face shape analysis is so great. You've got your color analysis, you've got your body analysis, and to me, face shape analysis is just the cherry on top. It's really great for helping you figure out what sort of jewelry to wear off your ear, where a necklace might suit you, how to wear your hair, and there's even some people who use it to do necklines and that sort of thing. I won't really be going into that, but we will touch on all the other things. So it's really great. It's also really good because then as you learn a little bit more about how your face shape works, you can look up pictures of celebrities, see who else shares your features, and look them up and see what you like on them and what you don't like. And it's a pretty good way to gauge what will look good on you. And it sometimes can be a bit easier to be unbiased when we're looking at someone else, whereas we can either be kind of too harsh or too kind to ourselves, or lots of other different motivations working. So that's what's great, is you can start to identify the features in someone else and what you share with them. So I have been looking around everywhere, trying to find my measuring tape, and I don't know what I've done with it. So my current solution is this lovely piece of string, and I also have right here a nice plastic roller. So I'll just be putting the string along the roller to measure how long our measurements are. So before we get into your measurements, basically the way I like to run these sessions is I like to teach you about all of the face shapes first. Then we'll get into your specific measurements. We'll measure you, get those written down, and then the last part of the session will be me telling you the suggestions for earrings, hairstyle, necklaces, all that sort of thing. Okay? Wonderful. So here is our handy dandy little guide on face shapes. I drew it up myself. Can you tell? So there are 6 basic face shapes that we divide people into. Obviously, we're looking at a 3D structure, so these are generalizations, and everyone will fall into one of them, but it can vary depending on the 3D structure of your face. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But it is a really great starting point. So we have an oval face shape, where the length of the face is 1.5 times the width, and this is considered the most versatile and aesthetically pleasing face as it is. And so a lot of what we are trying to do with our other face shapes, if you do have one of those, is how to most approximate the oval face shape. Now next is the square face shape. This is where you have a rather wide forehead and cheekbones. Your jaw can be quite wide as well, and the length of the head is not excessively long. And so it's a very angular jaw, whereas you have these same dimensions and ratios, but rounder, curvier, those gorgeous curved cheeks. That's a round face rather than a square, very angular jaw. Think Angelina Jolie, that sort of thing. Now our heart shape is widest at the forehead and narrow at the jawline, and usually a quite pointy chin. And so usually very prominent pointy chin is part of the heart shape. The oblong face shape is very long in the face, so it's where the length of the face is greater than 1.5 times the width of the face. And usually with oblong faces, we're trying to make it not appear quite so long. And then we have the diamond face shape. This is where it has the greatest width at the cheekbones. Shares this with the square and the round. But with the diamond, you have narrow at the forehead and at the chin. So, those are our 6 basic face shapes. So now it's time for us to figure out which one you are. This is, wow, they're all the best part in my opinion. But, okay, so as you've noticed, obviously we'll need to take the length and a width. We take multiple widths, so we take a width at the forehead, at the cheekbone, and at the jaw, because that's how we can then tell which is your widest point. So I'm just going to start off. We go here, go at your forehead, probably to about right there. Let's see what's the length there. Okay, let's write that one down. The width, but and then we'll go right across your face here. Yeah, probably ends right about right there. Okay. And that is that. Now I'm just going to take this measurement at your jawline, basically right back here. So from here to here is what we're looking for. We'll just go in. Make sure we get around. And just, oh, sorry if that's tickling a little. Yeah, about right there. Oh, lost my fingering on here, so let's see. Okay, right there. Try not to tickle you this time. And right. Hold it. There we go. Better grip that time on the string. Okay. And then last, I'm just going to take the length of your chin, of your face, sorry. So we'll just start at this, go right down the center of your face. Just gonna go up here. And then right here, right at the point of your chin. You have such gorgeous, gorgeous skin. Oh, now your cheeks are gorgeous. Okay, so looking at your measurements, it does appear that you are a round face shape. people, when they hear round, or if they're looking at these face shapes, they might think that round is the worst one. It's not. It's a gorgeous face shape. You have lovely face shape, and there's a lot to work with there. And I think you'll be a bit more convinced of that when I tell you some of the gorgeous celebrities who have the round face shape. So you are in very good company there. Do you just want to start off with your celebrities? The notes here. For a round face shape, you have Jennifer Lawrence. If you think of those nice round cheeks that she has. And she doesn't have an angular jaw, so it's all round and not a very long face as well. So she fits in the round category. As does Julia Stiles. Again, you think of those prominent cheeks. Gorgeous. Kirsten Dunst, Fergie, Kate Winslet, Drew Barrymore. I'm going to talk about her when we talk about Hairstyles. Adele. Selena Gomez is an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous round face shape. And actually, if you look through some of her photos, you can find photos of her doing some of the avoids, and you'll actually notice a huge difference. It's actually really fun. Mila Kunis, she is gorgeous. Kylie Jenner, Queen Latifah. Oh, one of my favorites, Viola Davis. She's got a very round face shape, but she wears it so strong and gorgeous. I love Viola Davis. Oh, and then probably the woman who I think is number one, the most beautiful woman, is Catherine Zeta-Jones. So you're in a very good company. Now, for your earrings, you are, well, if we're thinking about what you're trying to do here, if we're taking the round shape, we're trying to kind of lengthen it out a bit. So everything you're doing is trying to bring a more vertical aspect to your appearance. With really long faces, we're usually trying to bring a bit of width to those faces. So really buoyant sideways hair is great, but the opposite for you. And it's the same with your earrings. So you're going to look really good in a nice tangle that is a bit more like a waterfall or straight down. Don't want it to be too wide. These may be a little too wide. You'd have to play with it to see. They may be pushing the limits. But a gorgeous waterfall earring that's more rectangular shape. Perfect for you. Now you're also going to look very good in teardrop or those narrow chandelier style earrings. As far as studs go, you can go with a nice small crystal or pearl stud. That'll suit your ears very nicely. But once your studs start to grow bigger, you want to avoid that. It's going to add extra width rather than length. And so that can be problematic. Large hoops that actually extend below your jawline, so we're talking big hoops, can be very flattering because they add length even though they are circular. So it's not all angles necessarily. But you don't want round shape that's small, just because it just highlights the aspect of yourself that isn't the part we really want to be bringing out. We want to be focusing on your eyes, your gorgeous cheeks, all of that. Not the round shape of your face. Now for necklaces. You're going to look great in long pendant styles. A nice matinee length will look good as well. And collar length also looks good. So you can even go, a bit high there. But you do want to avoid very chunky or chokers. That's if you look up Selena Gomez, you can see her in a choker. And while she still looks pretty good, if you look at her immediately without a choker, you see she looks so much better. But doesn't mean people shouldn't, do what they enjoy wearing. Now into my favorite part is our hairstyles. So I just have a few suggestions for hairstyles. And obviously you can Google till the day is end long, but these are some of my all-time favorites for a round face. The layered lob with a side part is wonderful. So, a bob is around here. A lob is a long bob, so it ends just above the shoulder. That's what we call a lob. And it's textured, so it ends up being not too wide past your ears. It's at your ears is the biggest spot. We don't want to add width. Around this area, it's okay if you have a bit of width down there. It does help to lengthen the round face, and then with the side part and the layers, it really offsets the structure of your round face, and it just complements it and brings out your gorgeous cheeks and those features really well. So I love the layered lob. It's probably my favorite. Now you can also go with long, straight, and sleek. If you think of Mila Kunis, probably post that 70s show, a lot of times she has very straight, sleek hair, and that really lengthens the face, and it's a great hairstyle for a round face. It helps stretch the face vertically, and if you do have texture to your hair, if you curl or anything like that, you can a little bit easier add, just a bit of texturing to the top, add a little bit more vertical height to the top, but you just don't want to texture down the sides, and then just go sleek down the sides. Now, there are a few different options for quite short hairstyles as well. There's the textured pixie cut. So you get a nice pixie cut, so you want to be shaved pretty close on the sides. You want all of your height and texture to be on the top of your head. And those layers help create an illusion of more height. Cropped sides, those draw attention to your forehead, just highlighting this lovely feature of your face. And it does help you look thinner. Beachy waves are pretty popular for a round face as well, particularly with Drew Barrymore. If we think of her in her more recent films, probably not her really early stuff. Not talking about E.T., I mean her teens and early 20s, but more recently she does a lot of beachy waves. And as long as the waves, because the curl and texture starts lower, it adds more vertical texture than width. You wouldn't want really glamorous curls that sit on the side of your face. It would just not quite go very well. One that's really fun is a pineapple ponytail. I'm not going to pull my head up, but just wearing something right on the top of your head adds that vertical height again, and you can just let your hair splay out. Lots of fun. It can be very pretty, sporty, and it's great. You can use it, if you have long, straight, and sleek, a layered lob, or beachy waves, if you're going for any of those looks. Well, if you need to put your hair up, you've also got the pineapple on top that you can use. And then finally, for our pixie cuts, you can also do a faux hawk. I love the faux hawk. It's very edgy and takes a certain personality, I think, to pull it off completely, but it can be a lot of fun. And it really does just help build up that length for your hair. Now, my take-home tips for you are just anything with a round face. Remember, we're just here to focus on lengthening. You want to add height, not volume. Long layers can draw the eye downwards. And you want loose curls, if any, not voluminous ones. Mistakes that you want to avoid are any really tight pulled back ponytails at the back. The top adds that height, but anything at the back will really just draw attention to your face shape and draw attention away from your gorgeous cheeks and eyes and forehead and all of that. You also want to avoid short, blunt bangs, as they only emphasize the roundness of the face as well. So, those are just a few tips to keep in mind. I hope that you found this helpful and that you will have lots of fun now going home and Googling celebrities. It's always great to just know who looks like you and get great